night live stream. But those of you who work during the day, you should be super excited because you're able to chat with me now. So I tried to kind of leave it live for a few minutes to see if we get a few more people on. So we will be waiting just a few minutes for some folks to jump on because I definitely want to hear your questions and answers. I read every comment from yesterday's video so that I would know exactly what you guys wanted me to look for at the ASD Market Week here in Dallas, Texas. And so we took the 10.5-hour drive all the way down here, and it was kind of an interesting trip. We went on lots of 2-lane roads, and we now hate every semi-driver that drives from here. No, we don't hate semi-drivers. It was just kind of crazy. It was very busy during some sections of driving, and so we're just not used to having that traffic in kind of the rural area that we live in. So that's kind of a little bit new to us, but Paul weathered it great. So he kept us safe. We arrived here in one piece. And so we would love to hear from you guys. So if you're on, please give us a shout out. We would love to hear from you guys and hear where you're from. And so go ahead and say hello. Do we have some people online already?
Janet Hook says, hi, kids.
Awesome. So Paul is reading all of your questions. So
hello,
you'll
everyone.
be able to see them.
Susan Van said, glad you made it safely to Dallas.
Awesome.
So when did the ASD Market Show start?
So it started today at 9 a.m. You were allowed to, on Tuesday, check in and get your badge. We arrived too late to get it yesterday, but here's our badge. See, it even says hooked on Pickin. Makes me feel special. And they had this QR code on there. And so a lot of the vendors, if they wanted your information, they simply had to scan that. And it gave them your email address, where your company was from, that kind of thing. Yes.
Hope Burke says hi from Indiana.
Hi.
Rhonda says hi from Texas.
Awesome. Hello. We're in your state.
Ashley Blackford says hello.
Awesome.
Patty Ralph says Patty Ralph, Kansas City in the house.
Awesome.
Faith Hooks says hi, Mom.
Hi, Faith.
Just to something resellers says hi, you too. So excited for your trip. Pam Pilgrim says hi, Paul and Heather. Anita Townsend says hey from Florida. TS Resale says hello from Alabama.
Awesome.
Tammy Boyette says woohoo, can't wait to see the good stuff. Rhonda says 345 miles from me.
Awesome.
Ginger says hey from Michigan. Faith Hook says Rosalind and Gabe say hi.
Awesome. Awesome. So we're definitely going to talk about our day and kind of some of the ups and downs and left and right turns that we went through today. It was not what we expected, but kind of what we expected, and I'll explain that in just a little bit. So also, if you love this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, just so that that increases our viewership so other people can learn about ASD Market Week. And also, because we're live, we also can get some super chats. So if you love this content, please feel free to go ahead and hit the donate button. So we have read all of the comments from yesterday's video. And if you didn't get a chance to watch yesterday's video, I pretty much asked, hey, if I could put something on Hooked on Pickin' for sale, what do you want me to put on there? Because I'm always on the hunt for wholesalers, new items for my store, online store, things to make available for the fire sale, things like that. We always get a huge variety from the liquidation pallets, but if I could buy something over and over and over again, that's always easier for me because I'm not taking the time making the listing, and it's also what you want. And so I kind of polled the audience yesterday and got tons of fantastic feedback, and I want to say a huge thank you to you guys because you guys are amazing with that. And so we did read each and every one of your comments, and we kind of compiled a list of kind of our goals for going to the ASD Market Week. The first time we went, it was just kind of, we don't know what we're getting into, exploration. So, and anytime you guys have a comment, go ahead and leave it in the chat. Paul will give me a signal and I'll let you go ahead and ask that question.
Just a few more here. Kay Beckman says hi from Kansas.
Awesome.
Just Two Reseller says, good job, Paul. I live in a rural area. Also, I always struggle going back to town in traffic. Casey Gideon says, hey, just in time for the storms. Yes.
Yes.
Let's see. Janice says, hi from Florida. Glad you got to Texas safely. Have a great time. Julie Riley says, have some fun while you're away from home.
Yes, yes. We did have a good time eating with a couple this evening, and so I'll share a little bit more about that in a little bit. So on the video yesterday, you guys commented on what you would like to see on the store. So, and we'll give you kind of, did we have some victories or some fails or some, we got to do more research kind of situations. So number one, most commented on yesterday's video was, please put more plus size clothing on the store. And kind of the size range, because plus size clothing could just be very generic, but you guys were very specific, and I'm very thankful you were. Kind of the 2X, 3X, and even 4X to 6X was where you guys really wanted me to find some things. Well, we kind of struck out, but not completely, because we learned some things from one of the distributors that we stopped at. We were on the hunt for apparel, and we actually did not get this information from the ASD Market Week. And so I'll share more about where we went after the ASD Market Week later this afternoon. So what we found out was most distributors, they kind of reserve the small through extra large for small-time buyers, and I would be considered a small-time buyer. Even if I bought, $5,000 worth of product, I'm still considered a small-time buyer. What they normally do with the 4 to 6X size range is they save it for your big kind of $10, $20, $30,000 purchasers. And so they get to buy the small to extra large, but they're the ones that kind of get first dibs on 4X to 6X. And generally speaking, most distributors don't make that size. There were quite a few apparel distributors that we met today that never made past size extra large. They didn't make a 2X.
That was really shocking.
Yeah, they didn't make a 2X, they didn't make a 3X. And so that was really, really hard to come by. And so although we struck out here, we kind of feel like we are more equipped to understand. We did talk to one distributor today that is going to send us an email, because what she usually does is her large distributor, she always cuts extra fabric and ends up making 2 to 5 pieces extra of a specific style of top or pants or whatever. And so she will definitely keep us in mind when it comes to that. And so I may end up with 2 to 5 of the same garment. It won't be 10, it won't be 20, it won't be something that I can reorder on a regular basis, but it might be something that I can put on a fire sale that will be in that 4 to 6X size range. And so that was number one, plus size clothing. And so we're still on the hunt. We're going to see if we can find it. If Lane Bryant can do it, Hooked on Pickin can too. We're going to find those sizes. All right. Any questions? Are we good? All right. Number 2 was kind of a fun one to look for, and we're still on the hunt for this one. Number 2 ended up being home decor that you guys suggested. And also along that lines, you kind of wanted the oddities, anything unique and fun, and we did find some distributors of that. We found little figurines that go on top of like office desks that were really fun. We found one that was like an old school like Revolutionary War kind of tank, and you press this little button and it shot a little torpedo. It was really kind of cute. So fun things like that, as well as just really unique and different kind of housewares items. We found this really cool tray that when all put together, it looks like it's in the shape of a leaf. And it has this one pivot center, and then you just loosen the pivot center, and then it fans out and has like 5 or 6 different trays. And then the maker of that specific item was actually at that spot. And so he was like, watch what else it does. He unscrewed the top, pulled one of the plates off, grabbed a stemmed glass and put it in there, and it sat perfectly where the tray would normally pivot on the original stand. And so you could have a tray and a glass only holding it with one hand. And so that was a really unique piece. So we got his information. We're going to peruse his website and find out, hey, what can we buy? They even had ones, this one was shaped like a leaf. He had ones that were shaped like footballs, ones that were round. And so when you closed it all up, it only took up about that much space. But when all fanned out, it was a big round platter, with kind of a pivoting center. So that was really cool. We're still on the lookout for some more home decor. We found floor at another location near here that we walked to from this hotel where the ASD show was, and found some more home decor, and so we'll tell you more about that in a little bit. Number 3, as far as suggestions that you guys had put in the comment section yesterday, was journals and planning supplies. We found a ton of distributors for journals, anywhere from just a plain spiral bound kind of lined notebook, all the way to, we found some a wholesaler that sold like Christian devotionals, along with like calendars, along with just checklist type journals. And so we're going to be definitely ordering from him. They were a fantastic distributor, and they didn't just do journals. They did, bookmarks, and they did anything having to do with stationery, as well as they sold Bibles and Bible covers. And they weren't all Christian related. Some of them were just really neat designs. So they'd have a purple one, and just different scrolly kind of things on it. And they even had one thing I really loved that this distributor had, was they had a lot of men's things too. So they had leather bound kind of men's devotionals, or men's journals, or men's kind of pocketbooks. They even had some cool leather bound wallets that were really neatly designed and very clever, but something that just a traditional guy would carry. And so I know you guys had mentioned men's mystery boxes. We definitely found a resource there. They had an entire men's line. They had I think this was the distributor that had this, you ever see those lighters with the long handles on them that you light your grill with, or you light a bonfire with, those kind of things? Well, this one was one that, instead of flicking the thing and having the fan, it was like a almost like a zapper. And so it was one that you charge and you don't need fuel for. So some cool things that we found there. Number 4 on the list that you guys suggested is, you guys always love pet items. And so we had a lot of things that we saw as far as pet items. We saw, different clothing articles for pets, some different toys for pets, squeaky toys for pets. Am I missing kind of anything?
Yeah, there was one particular company that he did closeouts.
Yes.
And we might be able to order quite a bit of pet stuff from him. It just depends on the price point when it's all said and done.
And the closeouts were not like he has 10 of them. It was like he probably has
300.
300 of them.
Yeah.
And so if we really like the product and the price, we may order all 300 or 150 or something like that to have them in stock on the store.
Heather Alex Bell says, hey.
Hey, Alex.
Hope Burke asked, what about pet products? We just kind of...
Awesome.
I think we just talked about that.
Yep.
Hold on one second. And Melinda says, hey, you guys, laugh out loud.
Awesome. So give us a thumbs up if you do love this, and go ahead and donate if you like on this live stream. All right, so we've been, number 1 was plus size clothing we went on the hunt for, and if you haven't heard about any, rewatch this video after the fact. Number 2, we talked about home decor and odd items we got to find. Number 3 was journals and planning. Number 4 was pet items. Number 5 was craft items. We kind of struck out on craft items. We found a lot of kind of DIY projects.
Right before we left, I found someone that does Wholesale's ribbon.
Yes.
So I'm hoping that I can go in there and maybe find more than ribbon
and fabric and different things like that. So we're going to go on the hunt tomorrow for that, because we just didn't come across it till the end of the day. We literally closed down one of the stores. They were going to lock us in if we didn't get out of the store. So we worked all day long. Number 6 was kitchen items. We found quite a few different kitchen items. Really neat we found one guy that had neat looking paper plates and plastic silverware that looked like metal silverware, things like that. We found some cool kitchen just gadgets and tools and things like that. And so we did find some kitchen items that we'll be looking for. Number 7 was outdoor camping fishing items. We found a lot of like outdoor backpacking type bags. We found some of those Camelback hydration bags. We found some of those backpacks that have all the loops that you put carabiners, various water bottles, sleeping bags, tents that don't take up a lot of space. Like literally the tent was this long, but it was a rather large tent when you actually put it together. And we found like a multi-tool that had a fork and a spoon on it and things like that you could use for camping. So,
right. There was a floor at the Dallas Market Week that was supposed to be the Texas wear that we'll have to go back and look. They may have more than what
Camping, yeah.
camping supplies.
Another thing too is we actually personally, a couple of you mentioned this, but we personally wanted to put together a reseller box, such as having my favorite kind of scale, tape dispensers, measuring tapes, box cutters, and then just be able to prepackage them at wholesale prices and then offer that to you at a lot less than a retail price for all of those items. And so the only thing we actually ran across was someone who would be selling tape. We have a favorite distributor for tape, so I'm not sure that we'll even look into it, but we'll price check and see what it's like. We also like to test the tape because, kid you not, some packing tapes are better than others. But we'll still be on the lookout for box cutters that maybe we can logo hooked on Pickin and things like that, but still be a good price for you. And then the last thing that we were looking for as far as things to buy was we wanted to find out, can we find a really neat distributor for our own hooked on Pickin merchandise? So we wanted to make like hooked on Pickin keychains or logos or box cutters or tape dispensers, things like that we could put hooked on Pickin on, even hats and shirts. We did find a couple distributors for shirts that would easily logo one, but I wanted to show you one that I thought was really cool. So this guy, this was attached to it is his contact info, but he makes these wooden carvings. Now he gave us this one. We did get some samples of things. He gave us this one, but he could do any logo. So he could put a hooked on Pickin logo on it. He could make it blue. He can make a magnet. He can make a keychain. He can make an acrylic clear kind of jewel looking one. And it would be very inexpensive. This would be something we'd probably offer at about $4.99 or $5.99 a piece. This is actually an ornament. But this was just one example of what he can make, but he was really, really awesome about being able to customize.
Great salesman too.
Yeah, just a normal down-to-earth kind of guy. So we're definitely going to go back to him, probably put in an order for some personalized merchandise. So if you guys are interested in some hooked on Pickin maybe keychains or magnets, please let us know in the comment section below, and we'll take that under advisement and let us know what would you prefer, a keychain, an ornament, the different things that we talked about. Okay, so general ASD roadshow thoughts. I heard it through the grapevine that maybe Phoenix got canceled, but I'm not for sure on that. But we're here at the Dallas ASD Market Week. We knew that it was going to be smaller, obviously, than the Las Vegas Convention Center because it was being spread out. But I was very underwhelmed, to be honest. It was much smaller, much smaller. We got there at 9. It took us about 15 minutes to actually get our badge to get in the door. You can always arrive the day before to get it, but we kind of got up late and moving slow this morning. So we got there at 9, got in the door at 9:15, and we were done looking through every single booth before noon. So that was a little sad because we spent 3 days in Vegas a few years back and only probably got through 2/3 of the ASD Market Week. So one of the reasons for that probably is COVID, because they had to move the location, so that definitely made a difference. So vendors would have to come from different areas of the country. It's a lot cheaper to fly into Vegas if you're an exhibitor, and so that could have limited people. I know when I was looking for flights into Dallas, it was a lot more expensive. But the other thing too is I think a lot of the overseas companies couldn't be present. A lot of the private label from Turkey and India and China and other countries could not be present for this. So everybody that we saw was, in my assumption and just from talking to them, probably stateside based.
Yeah. No international. No private label.
Yeah. Yep, none of them were there. They didn't have special speakers like they do at the ASD Market Week. Usually they have like seminars and speakers, the whole 9 yards, and they didn't have any of that. They just simply had vendors. So
had some good vendors though. Good
vendors, yes. So no liquidators at all. So we saw no Via Trading, no bulk.com, no 888 lots, none of those style of vendors. Everybody we met today was a wholesale distributor. That's it. Or the direct manufacturer.
Or CBD.
Or CBD, yes. Lots of CBD. Well, we don't sell any of that, so that was a little bit disappointing to us. About half of the vendors were CBD. I guess it's an up-and-coming market, but that's not one that I dabble in. So that was a little frustrating to me. So we did find 2 companies that we're actually going to start ordering product from. I know a lot of you mentioned in the comment section below that you would love to see things made in the USA. Well, this is one of them. So we are not just going to buy hooked on Pickin stuff from this guy. We'll probably get a few other items because he had some cool stuff there, different kind of things. And so we'll probably order from him. But he was a USA-based company, everything manufactured in the USA and distributed. And we found 2 new companies that we know for a fact that we'll be ordering from, but we're going to do some investigating on some of the other ones.
Right. One was from Minnesota. They did the bath bombs and
yes, bath bombs, body lotions, shower steamers, basically a whole HBA line, and they even had pet stuff. So they had like pet fragrances, like pet friendly fragrances, things like that that you could use for your pets. So a whole HBA line for your pets as well, which was really fun. So because we were done at noon, we kind of sat down, made a list of people that we wanted to talk to tomorrow because we like to do some investigating. We get online, we look up their websites, kind of price check, and then we make a list of we want to buy this, 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 and this. We found a guy that we absolutely loved as far as jewelry sales. And so like these earrings I've got here, we found a guy that wholesales similar styles to this, as well as necklaces and various rings, things like that. So we're going to actually make a purchase from him tomorrow. But because we got done at noon, we made our list. Now it's like 1 o'clock. What do we do now? We found out, and actually from an email from the ASD team, that at the exact same time, there was something called Dallas Market Week that was going on, literally a 5-minute walk from this location. And so, and they made a deal with that Dallas Market Week that if you had an ASD badge like this, you could get in. That's why I have a star on the badge. I went to the Market Week and it shows that I was able to get in.
That place is awesome.
It was amazing. So it was in the World Trade Center in Dallas, and it was 15 stories high, and every floor had a different theme. And they even had another building attached to it that even had more stuff, which we didn't spend a lot of time in that other building because it was primarily furniture and larger items. Lighting and furniture was the primary thing. But we did go into a lighting store and it had some amazing like lanterns, lit up trees, cool stuff. I will show you video in the compilation of that. But so this was Dallas Market Week. Is basically like a 15-story mall of nothing but wholesalers. But these are different kind of wholesalers. They're not the wholesalers that sell to Target or Walmart. These are wholesalers that you probably see in Pier 1, in Kohl's, in some of those higher end like Nordstrom. So these are the people that those higher end stores buy from. And so we walked into the first couple. Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question here from
Sure.
Anid. Says, what about motivational items?
Oh, well, we have found a bunch of motivational items as far as like devotionals and encouragement journals and books and stuff that we're going to look into that one distributor that we found all the journals and things like that. So I definitely am going to look into that.
And James Hook says, hello.
Well, hello, my son. Awesome. So this 15 floor of different things, like literally they had an entire floor of Christmas items and seasonal items. They had an entire floor of children's clothing and toys, which was our favorite. You want to show them the stack? Those are just toy catalogs, folks.
Each of these catalogs, here, we're not giving too much away here. Each of these catalogs, thick catalogs, are companies that are making all sorts of different toys. This is a German company. Music boxes that were just
These are
amazing.
Yeah. They make all sorts of different music boxes.
Yeah. These tiny little music boxes that they're actually metal mechanical. It's just beautiful things. So we've got Germany, Denmark, a lot of USA companies making toys.
Yeah.
This isn't you find it in a convenience store. These
are nice. Like they're whole kits, lip balm, creativity, DIYs for kids, boy stuff,
Yep.
girl stuff.
Yeah.
You name it. It's
Excellent.
There. So.
Yeah. Catalog after catalog after catalog we were able to pick up.
So we literally, like, poor Paul by the end of the day was carrying a backpack that probably weighed about an additional 50 or 60 pounds.
Oh, it was big, yeah.
Just from catalogs alone. And so we found a bunch of new toy distributors, and they're not going to be your dollar store toys. They're going to be like, do you guys remember the slime box on last week's fire sale? It's going to be stuff like that. So really good size stuff that we definitely want to include in our kids' mystery boxes and stuff like that. So we'll be putting in some orders in the very near future. So in about a month, you're going to see some amazing mystery boxes.
I think by the time I can get all of it figured out and order it and get it here, Christmas is going to look great.
Yes. No, it'll be before that. Because I'll be cracking the whip. Right?
Let's see. PB&J's Messy Life says, "Hi guys, great to bump into you today." I wonder if that's the couple that we got to see.
It is. So I was going to mention that we did run into a couple. PB&J's, what is it? PB&J's Messy Life.
Yeah.
So yes, we got to chat with a couple of viewers, and I tell
couple
you
from
what,
Kansas City, if they're the same couple.
Yep, they're from Kansas, not Kansas City. They're from
Kansas. Yes, Kansas, not Kansas City. Yeah.
One thing that was really cool was she said that she started watching me, got inspired that she could do this on her own, and I tell you what, they are a hustling machine. Like they know that reselling is hard work, and they're doing the hard work. They're putting the hours in, they're putting the work in. And so, like, I was super excited to meet you guys and hear just how successful your business is and that you basically can be your own boss. So that was amazing.
They seem to be a great couple, easy to talk to.
Absolutely.
I could see how they could do just so well at this.
Yeah, they do a lot of like local sales and flea markets as well as selling on Amazon. So that was really cool to just kind of hear their story and how they do it as well. So so it was fun to run into them.
Kristen Jones says, "I love music boxes." Yeah, I thought they were so neat.
They had just about every song you can imagine.
I saw today every toy you can even imagine.
Like, mind blown.
We one of the toy stores we walked into today, it was all the you won't see these at Target. You won't see it at Walmart. You know, I don't know where these toys are going, but they're just so cool.
Super cool. Yeah, really unique toys that we had not seen anywhere else. Very a lot of educational toys that were really cool. And just a lot of really fun stuff.
Brittany Carter says, "Definitely going to need to wear a house soon with all those new items. Congrats, Hooks." Yeah.
Yes.
Expand, yeah.
Well, we actually have a back shed that we're getting ready to this summer revamp. So we're going to clean it out, put up new shelving, put in protective totes, and climate control it a little bit more.
Matthew says, "It's awesome how you show good ethics in reselling. Very admirable. You show Christ even through your reselling." Very good. I'm glad you see that, Matthew. Very good.
So also up on the top of the Dallas Market Week, we did find a lot of clothing places, and so we got some information about some clothing places. But like I said, we kind of struck out on the plus size clothing with that, and that was where we found out from the lady that they reserve the large ordering companies.
She was the designer, and that was really neat to talk to her. And that was the cool thing about
Dallas
where they
Market
were at.
Week. You met a lot of the creators of the actual item and the designers of the actual item. So you kind of like at ASD Market Week, you met a lot of distributors and wholesalers, but at the Dallas Market Week, it was higher cost items sometimes, but you were direct from the people who make it.
Yeah, that was neat.
And most of it was stateside stuff.
But I hope you guys understand, and Heather just says we kind of struck out, but Heather went on a mission. We stopped at probably had to be close to 20 different clothing
wholesalers.
Yeah, wholesalers. And you would start with that first question. Do you guys sell plus size? And most of them said, we don't sell anything over an extra large. And it was just amazing. And then the ones that would sell plus clothes would be, well, we have a few 1Xs, we maybe have a few 2Xs. So I can see how that's very difficult to find.
Well, and even the sales reps said, we had one lady that actually told us that she has been begging her manufacturer, the boss of the company, we have got to sell bigger sizes because they did sell up to a 3X and never kept it in stock. Yeah. And so she was begging, can we make 3X, 4X, 5X, 6X? of this particular, of these styles, and they just wouldn't do it. And so I don't know if there's just a lot more fabric involved or what the hiccup is with that. But we're going to go on a mission and try to see if we can come up with some more distributors for that. The other thing too is we just found out that Jerry and Robin from Karz Recycling were going to be here at the same show. They didn't realize we were going to be in Dallas because we originally said we were going to go to Orlando. Well, they watched our video yesterday and said, hey, we're flying in. So we ended up being able to go out to eat with them. We went to a place called Boomer Jack's Grill. So if you're in the Dallas area and you've ever eaten at Boomer Jack's Grill, oh, I'm still stuffed.
Yeah.
So much good food. And so if you're ever in the Dallas area, I would definitely recommend that place. It's really fantastic. So we saw lots of things. A couple of things that happened today that were a little bit interesting. We did have to wear a mask and get temperature checked before we walked in, but that's kind of par for the course for going into any large venue these days, and that's okay. So we had hooked on Pickin masks so people knew who we were. We also... last time we went to ASD Market Week, when they looked at our tag and saw the phrase e-commerce, a lot of them automatically assumed that you were an Amazon seller, and they literally would not want to work with you. But this time we were able to, because we sell it on our website, so that's the difference.
They were a lot more friendly to e-commerce all around.
Yeah, they were a lot more friendly. I think because of COVID, it kind of made that a little bit more prevalent in most people's lives. Brick and mortar really struggled this year because of COVID. But one interesting story that happened to us was... We were at the Dallas Market Week. We have gone in and out of probably 50 different wholesalers throughout the day. Right at the tail end of the day, we see this really cool store that has a lot of like neat kind of novelty signs, cool pillows with sayings on it.
A lot of home decor.
A lot of home decor. And we're like, we want to go in that store because it looks exactly like what you guys already buy from us. And we're like, we want to find out how we can get that at a discount price so we can sell it. So there's a table kind of in the entranceway of the doorway, and we go to walk in the store, and they're like, whoa, wait a minute. And we stop, and they're like, do you have an appointment? And we were like, we have just walked into about 50 stores. What are you talking about, appointment? Yeah. Well, evidently this company, you have to make an appointment to even get a tour around the showroom. And they have someone follow you while you're in the showroom, which for me is a little bit annoying because I want to say the pros and cons of each item. Well, if you've got a sales rep standing next to you, you don't want to be like, oh, I hate this thing. It's way too overpriced. You don't have the freedom to talk about the items in reference to how well you're going to sell them. So we finally were like, no, we don't.
And they retook our temperatures.
Yeah, they retook our temperatures. I mean, we had to get a temperature check to get into ASD, which is why we have this band on, and a temperature check to get into the Dallas Market Week. But for some reason, this store, after not any of the other 50 ones we went into, decided they needed another temperature check just to go into their store. And so they stopped us. They said, do you have an appointment? We said no. They said, are you a current customer? We said no. And then they said, where are you based out of? And so we told them Trenton, Illinois. And they're like, well, we need to call the rep in that area to find out if we can even show you the showroom. And I was like thinking to myself, do you want me to not buy from you? Because I'm right now completely turned off. Like, it was really shocking. I'm like, how big does this company have to be to have to, like, I felt like I just got stiff-armed. Yeah. Like, we don't want your business, you know? And so it was a little bit frustrating, but they're like, you know what, we'll call the rep and find out if there's a big saturation in your area. Trenton, Illinois, big saturation. Yeah. And
which there isn't.
Which there isn't. We don't have hardly any stores. So then we go into the showroom and do the tour, but all the while, the lady that's giving us the tour is like hovering. Like, so it's like you can't even look at the product and have a discussion about the product without her giving input about everything you touch. Like, I was looking at the pillows, so I would pick one up. Oh, those are fantastic. Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I'm not opinion about this. And so we looked at about 10 things, and I decided, you know what? I don't even know if I can buy from this company because I got the stiff arm from the door. So we're just going to go. So I go to leave. And the lady's like, I've got your rep on the phone. Would you like to talk to her? So she hands me her cell phone. And I'm like, okay, awkward. And so, but I have to say, the rep on the phone was fantastic. Actually ordered from them. And so she feels like because they haven't reordered, it must be a small population area. And I said, yes, it's a rural area. And so she's like, I'm not sure if we need someone saturating the area. And I was like, listen, I was like, I know you've got a couple of brick and mortars that haven't reordered from you, and I do sell a few things locally. I said, but the majority of my sales are through YouTube audience. And she was very intrigued. And she said, really? And I said, yes, I sell live direct on YouTube once a week to the majority of my customers. And then I invoice them through my own website. And so then she kind of like perked up like, oh, this might be an avenue we need to go to. So we may be able to acquire some of those things, but I need to be approved to sell that brand. But I tell you what, if I do, even though I got stiff-armed at the door, the sales rep was fantastic, and that's who I'll deal with right from the get-go. And if we get to acquire those things, I'll definitely probably consider them. But that was a unique experience.
Heather is being overly gracious. It was very rude.
It was very uncomfortable.
On multiple accounts in dealing with them today, when everyone else was bending over backwards wanting your business.
We're the buyers.
Yeah.
Would you not want us to walk into your store?
Wow.
We're going to walk in and drop some cash on some product. Yeah. Why would you not want that?
It made no sense at all.
Yeah, it didn't make a lot of sense. So anyway, that was our weird moment of the day.
They do have nice looking things, though.
They do have nice looking things.
Let's see. Matthew Karz speaking about companies making clothing. Fortunately, maybe one of the designers, or the designer that we got to talk to, she said that they had to reserve their 3X and 4X for large distributors. So unless we were willing to drop, $10,000 on a particular pants or a particular one outfit, and we just know we're not going to do that on one outfit.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
But she was trying to help us. She was trying to help us. Mary Ann said you should have reminded her to socially distance when she handed you her phone. Everything broke down when Heather started trying to walk away. The Honey Wholesale says, "Oh, stop! Walk away from them, that company."
I got no problem walking away.
Yeah.
But
Picky Pants says that is one very orange room you're staying in. Yes, it is.
It is very orange.
It's a very
chair.
It's a very orange room.
Yes.
Yep. Orange curtains, white and orange.
Yes.
Orange everything.
Everything is orange.
Yep. So.
We're going to, in the compilation video that I'm going to put together, we will show you some pictures of the hotel. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, we were able to get a little bit of video. They actually had signs on lots of places saying no pictures, no video. Mm-hmm. So we tried to respect that to the best of our ability. Some spots where they were okay with us filming, so we tried to get some footage.
Yep. So we're excited about the new items we're going to be able to put on Hooked on Pickin. We'll definitely be putting in some orders tomorrow.
Sorry, guys, if it keeps going in and out on you. I'm sorry. It's just the internet here at the hotel.
Yeah, we're running off the Wi-Fi at the hotel, so that's
Ann
why.
says, hi from Texas. Melinda says, dreamsicles. Laugh out loud. Does anyone have a question? Maybe something that they were curious about?
Yes. Anything that you saw. So this is kind of our wrap-up of day one. We're definitely going to go back, see if we can find some more home decor, see if we can find some more craft items, and then definitely going to investigate as much as we can on some of those plus-size clothing if we can. But I think we exhausted what they had here. But we can see if we can go on the lookout for other websites and just different avenues based on the list that the other ASD roadshows have.
Yeah, every place that we were at with the Dallas Market Week, you pretty much had to have a reseller's license to purchase from them.
Every wholesaler we met, you needed a reseller's
Most
license.
had fairly large minimum purchase orders. So even if you just liked one item, they were like, no, unless you're willing to drop $1,000, you can't have that one item.
Now, ASD Market Week was different.
It is different
You
there.
had to spend $60 for some of those wholesalers, but all of the ones at the Dallas Market Week were probably, you needed to drop anywhere from, I think the lowest dollar amount we saw was $500. So you're gonna have to buy $500 worth of toys in order to, now it can be $500 worth of various different toys, but they had to be all from the same distributor. And then we saw even upwards of, you had to spend $3,000 for your very first purchase order. Then we had other ones where you had to spend each quarter, you had to spend a certain amount of money in order to even make an order. So that was the difference between the market week, is that higher purchase orders, because these are much more well-established wholesalers than some of the ASD ones were brand new distributors, brand new wholesalers, or they just were able to get their product at a lower price. Like they were the guys with the closeouts. They were kind of like liquidation, but only brand new products instead of the various different descriptors you have.
Jan Miller says you should have given her the thumbs up. There you go. Ann says it's raining here, so be ready for the storm. I think it autocorrected.
It's already blowing in this direction. So
Debbie Quivito says, "Hi Heather and Paul, bring back lots of good stuff for us."
We will definitely.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for. Oh, you can talk about cash and carry at Las Vegas. It was a huge section of cash and carry.
Here, they probably had 4 booths of cash and carry.
It was pretty sad.
And I was super excited because one of the booths was jewelry. And I was like, awesome, I can get some souvenirs for the kids. Until I looked at a pendant that was $75. And I was like, we won't be buying that. So, a little bit disappointed. The one thing that was cool that I didn't remember from the Vegas one was there were quite a few places giving out samples.
Yes.
Like we got a fruit-flavored soda earlier in the day.
Yep. Everybody offered us drugs. Tons of people offering us drugs.
We could have
drugs everywhere.
We could have had CBD coming out of our ears.
We could be high as a kite right now.
They were like, would you like an edible? Would you like a this? Would you like this spray? Would
Here,
you like this lotion?
You can drink marijuana. Here, and just anything marijuana. We were just, okay.
Yeah.
Tamara says, what about cash and carry? What about cash and carry?
Yeah, so we just had a very limited supply about cash and carry. But if you go to an ASD Market Week in the future, they normally have a cash and carry section. And even the Dallas Market Week also had a cash and carry section where basically you walked in. If you have cash, you can walk out with 1 or 2 items. And generally the cash and carry section is primarily their closeouts, their overstock, and things that they're going to discontinue. The other thing too is ASD and Dallas Market Week usually run specials. There's a lot of the companies that they'll run a 5% off on other products, or this particular product line that they had on display is going to be 5 or 10% off, and it usually lasts within 2 to 3 days after the show is done, up to a week. And so just remember that when going to the show, and if you're going to put in an order, please, it's always a good idea to do within a week, and then always ask the question, are you running a Dallas Market Week special? And so or an ASD Market Week special, because a lot of times just because they're showing at that show, they'll a lot of times run some sort of a discount for you.
Jeanette Francis says, any candy company?
Yes. We found some candy.
We got kicked out of a candy store today. It was awesome.
Did. Yeah. Well, we got kicked out because they were closing.
Yeah, they were closing.
But we ate lots of caramel corn, and I had a lemon covered pretzel. And yeah,
great stuff.
Really good stuff.
Now the thing that we'll have to see, like a really decent sized bag of caramel corn.
14 ounces.
14 ounces was like $6.50 though.
So we would probably sell it for 10.
Yeah,
but it was like this big.
He was saying most places sell it for $14.99, and I'm like, I don't know.
Well, see, I would probably sell it for 10 because you guys also have to pay shipping.
Right.
But
that's a good point.
And it's packaged really nicely.
It was fantastic.
It was so good.
So
yeah.
But we had just got to the food section, and then we had to really kind of leave. And it was just row after row after row of kind of like small little 6 foot, 8 foot nice displayed booths of all kinds of different people.
So we're going to go back there tomorrow. So we had the caramel corn, we had some chocolate covered pretzels, and then they had a bunch of other non-meltable foods as well that we're going to be able to choose from and look at. And so we're going to kind of go through that tomorrow.
Yep. Ann says, that's Dallas for you, people offering you drugs. And we got here within 30 minutes of us walking in this hotel. I'm wearing a very large Jesus shirt.
It has a big old cross, literally.
Big old cross. I'm a large man. I'm walking around like a billboard for Jesus. And a guy walked up to me and is like, "You need drugs?" And he started.
No, he didn't say that. But
he started offering me drugs.
Well, no, what did
I'm
he
like,
ask? He asked,
where are we?
He asked, "Do you buy disposables?"
Oh, yeah.
And so we were thinking disposable plates.
Yeah, I'm like,
disposable
sure,
silverware.
I'll buy disposables.
And so he hands us a vape disposable.
Yeah, yeah.
With
Nicotine warnings everywhere, you know.
Nicotine, please do not ingest, blah, 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 blah,
Yes,
yeah.
awesome.
It was amazing.
Awesome.
It's fun.
Jeanette Francis' shoes.
We did see some shoes.
Lots of more purses than shoes we saw.
Purses and handbags and accessories, like we saw, wallets and things like that. But shoes.
We had skipped one of the levels because we were trying to find the plus size.
Yep.
And I think we went all the way to the 15th floor. The 14th floor had more shoes on that.
Yeah, we may go ahead and take a gander at that before we leave tomorrow and head back home. But we'll definitely spend some time looking at that kind of stuff.
Tamara says, I buy at Market too, but it's different this year.
Yeah.
Tamara says, appointments and locked doors. Yeah. Picky Pants says, that's some very pricey caramel corn. Yeah, that's kind of what we were thinking too, to a certain degree. And you're looking at the food going, I know they need to make money, but you're trying to think, okay, what can I resell that for? And $14.99 I thought would be pretty pricey. Mm-hmm. It did look like the packaging looked wonderful on it. The taste was excellent.
It was vacuum sealed.
I mean, it had everything going for it that you want. They weren't doing anything wrong.
But like we said, we saw rows and rows of stuff that we haven't even looked at yet.
Yeah.
So we're gonna definitely...
He was the first guy in the door.
Yeah.
Let's see. Charlotte says, I was supposed to be there, but COVID hit me and my husband. Purses and plus size clothing was what we were after. Well, you would have struck out with the plus size clothing, Charlotte. That's been really hard. But
I did the homework for you, Charlotte.
There you go. Purses. There are purses here. Tote bags galore.
Oh yeah, we found a really great distributor of tote bags that look beautiful.
Yeah, like you're going to the beach, going on a picnic.
Yep.
Yeah. Any other questions you guys have?
If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. How many thumbs up are we at?
43 thumbs up.
43 thumbs up. Nice.
Not too shabby.
Yes, and if you like this video, feel free to give a super chat shout out there.
Heather got only one Starbucks coffee today.
I did only get one Starbucks coffee, and look, I'm still awake because I drink it at like 5 o'clock.
Yep.
So I'm never going to bed.
Melinda says, how about electronics? Honestly, very few.
Oh, we did find this
what was
cute
that?
little baby
Yoda. Yeah, we did find that.
There was a speaker that was literally like that big around, and it was a tiny little baby Yoda speaker. It was a Bluetooth speaker, and that thing was so loud.
Really loud.
Really loud. And so we're looking into possibly getting that. But they had it in Baby Yoda. They had it in Spider-Man. They had it in Venom. They had it in a lot of the Marvel characters, as well as just plain generic sizes, too. So, yeah. Star Wars, I think they had it in Star Wars, too. So that. We're definitely going to look up his website and see what we can find there, too.
Let's see. Tamara says, did the vendors feed you?
A
few.
Yeah, a few of them. We got
little
the
snacks and stuff.
And then we got the sodas.
Yeah. Let's see. James says, Lexi says hi and that she misses you.
Aw.
Hey, I was gone for 2 days one time and Lexi didn't even realize I was gone.
You were at a men's retreat, weren't you?
What she misses Mama. She don't miss me. She wouldn't even know I was gone. Renell says 7th floor is cash and carry. Yeah, we saw a little bit on that floor. It was primarily clothing. They had a bunch of like goat hides.
Oh yeah.
Which was just every once in a while you need a goat hide in your life. I
felt like Paul should have bought a goat hide, wrapped it around himself.
Yep.
And then he could have
walked around the rest of the day in a goat hide.
The King Goat Hide Master or something.
I could have done it.
We
might still do it.
Goat hide. Well,
don't tempt me.
Tomorrow we're gonna go get a goat
happen.
hide, and he's gonna be King Paul.
Yep, the honey wholesale says thumbs up for the first thing I watched all week. Had an anaphylactic reaction to COVID vaccine. Ooh. Boy, I hope you're feeling better.
Ooh, I've been in anaphylactic shock before. Not fun.
She says she's finally feeling better. I'm glad for that.
That'll wear you out.
Let's see. Little Lady Silver Blue Dragon says, Baby Yoda is so cute.
He is cute.
James Hook says, Lexi says she misses you too, Dad. Laugh out loud. Thank you, Lexi. Tamara says, with Jesus Cross. With Jesus Cross. What was it with Jesus Cross? Did the vendors feed you with Jesus Cross? I don't know.
Maybe your shirt with the Jesus Cross?
No, I didn't have my shirt with the Jesus Cross on today.
Yep.
Ronald says, 7 Hearts is great for clothing. We'll have to check it out.
Yeah, thank you. 7 Hearts.
Melinda says, your shirt. No, I wore that Tuesday. Today I just wore a Hooked on Pickin shirt.
Hooked on Pickin polo.
So people knew which company we were with.
People liked her name, though.
Oh, the goat hide with my Jesus shirt.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I could go for it.
You know what? Who thinks we need to take a picture of Paul with a goat hide wrapped around him tomorrow?
Could be amazing.
If they let us take one off the rack, I'll take a picture of that.
Let's see. Charlotte said, I bought ladies' wallets cash and carry at ASD Vegas. They were $2 and I sold them for $25. Yeah, we bought a ton of stuff.
We bought jewelry.
And all kinds of
handbags. We bought everything the last time we were there, and this time
nothing like that.
We had 4 booths.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that the jewelry booth was really, really priced high.
Super expensive.
They had bedding, but the bedding was like, it's an okay price.
Well,
it wasn't the worst price.
We don't sell bedding. I mean, based on the price, we would have had to mark it up too much, and we don't really sell bedding that easily.
Yeah. Let's see. Tamara says thumbs up. Great.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Well, that's our kind of recap for the day and my little stiff arm from a wholesaler, but almost everybody was like, hey, what can we tell you? How can we help you? It was really awesome. In previous years, we've gotten the stiff arm just because we were online sellers. We got really none of that, especially when they found out we had our own website. I think the biggest thing is they didn't want to compete with the Amazon sellers with some of their products. So we're really excited about the contacts and the large stack of resources that we picked up today, most of them being from Dallas Market Week. So if it weren't for Dallas Market Week, I think we would have thought that this 2-day trip was a bust. So we're actually going to go back to Dallas Market Week, as well as popping into the ASD and buying some jewelry and a few other things. We might order the Baby Yoda speaker, things like that tomorrow. A few more questions, and then we'll
Jan Miller says, Paul, wear the goat. I will try. And Charlotte said, Saul posted that it is all CBD products. What they did at this one is they don't have a CBD section like we've seen in the past. They would put...
But every 4 booths was a CBD.
Yeah. And so, well, maybe every... Yeah.
Depended on the road.
It might have been every 3rd. Sometimes there were a lot of CBD. But we just basically... That's probably what made it so quick for us, because we bypassed the CBD, and then you were on to, hey, this guy sells some pet products, and this guy sells jewelry, and this lady over here is a wholesaler for, closeout goods.
Some funny sock sellers.
Yeah, we did. I think we're going to buy some from them.
Yeah, there's a sock vendor that has all these socks with cool sayings on them and stuff.
Yeah, he was pretty good, too.
Yep.
Let's see. The Honey Wholesale says, can't wait to see your video of this trip.
Yes.
Very good.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for jumping on with us tonight. We so appreciate your feedback. If you're watching this after the fact, please feel free to leave comments in the comment section below. We will try to respond to those. But we will do another live stream. It will probably be a little bit later, and we may be on the road on the way back by the time we do the live stream tomorrow, because we do have to check out in the morning, and then we're going to hit the shows and then go ahead and leave. So thank you so much for all of you joining us tonight. And of course, remember in the end, Jesus wins.